Hello everyone, welcome back to BrickVault. My name is David. It's been a couple of weeks since our last release, mostly due to my weak self being sick again and my body performing like one that belongs to a 60-year-old. I'm back now though, so let's take a look at another custom build. In front of me today we have a Starfighter from one of the general public's favorite Clone Wars arcs. This is the Senua's 33 Umbaran Starfighter, or also called the T20 fighter, by the builder Davide M or WokeMox on Instagram. It contains around 1600 parts and takes up quite some space actually on its stand. This Starfighter is a little weird in universe, not just because of its rather unorthodox shape, but also because it doesn't have a cockpit, so to speak, but just a chair surrounded by an energy shield. And the controls were not regular controls, but your hands get surrounded by some sort of holographic energy ball, and then you can fly it like a drone. It can rotate in place, and the clones in the Clone Wars arc had a really hard time controlling it, since these ships obviously weren't designed with anyone else in mind other than Umbarans flying it. But before we get started with the build, let me tell you that you can actually build this model for yourself if you're interested, because we sell the instructions and parts list for this and many more custom LEGO models on our website www.brickvault.toys, or you can also click the first link in the video description. As you can see, we build everything we sell ourselves first to make sure the build works out and is enjoyable, and the parts are available on Bricklink. But let's not waste any more time and get straight into the details of the ship in LEGO. Davide included two types of stands for this ship, one for the flight mode and one for displaying it in landed mode. I'm gonna show you how to connect the two a little later on in the video. On its flight mode stand, the model is almost 33 centimeters tall, 40 centimeters wide and 26 centimeters deep, but of course I know you can only imagine the size of it when I compare it to this 4th generation iPod Touch. So here it is next to it. I'm not sure if you see it next to public gunships or ATTEs on Umbara, but I still thought it would be a fun comparison, especially this one with the headlights, since these have been used on Umbara at least. But let's dive a little deeper into the details of this custom build. First thing that's kinda an elephant in the room, what is this thing? It has such a bizarre look to it, nothing like any other Starfighter design that I know. It's super unique looking. Just by looking at it for a couple minutes won't make it justice, because it's impossible to grasp all the different shapes and angles with one look. There are quite some tricky angles achieved here in LEGO form, and the building experience is certainly pretty interesting. We mostly use snot here, which means studs not on top, with a few exceptions where the designer used wedge plates to get the correct angles. I personally like the mix between smooth and slightly studded areas, so I can appreciate seeing some studs here and there. I really like how accurately he was able to recreate the different painted yellow surfaces, and the small patches of lime green really make for some intriguing highlights, especially in the back where they serve as the main thrusters. Also a really interesting shape for thrusters, no other Starfighter features quite like this. Beneath the energy bubble cockpit we have a single rapid fire laser cannon, but that's not the only armament that this machine has. We also have two electromagnetic pulse missile launchers on both wings, so to speak, similar to the ones used in other Umbaran vehicles like the hover tank, which by the way would be a cool future BrickVault project, don't you think? Now, as I said before, Davide included two stands for this vehicle. This one you're seeing right now is the flight mode stand, and it's angling the ship up a little bit, which is perfect. It connects with two studs on the underside and then just rests on it. And if you want to display it in the landing position, Davide also included this small stand that can be inserted into the underside right after pulling these lift arms forward. And then you can see that the whole ship basically transforms into landing position, which was so surprising and satisfying to see when I first did it. The wings only being one brick thick gives the illusion of it breaking easily and not being able to move at all, but the designer put a few intentional weak points into the wings hinges, so it folds exactly where it should fold, according to the source material. This is definitely the most impressive thing about this model, and something I haven't seen any other mocks of it recreate just like this. It's so simple to do as well, as if the general shape of it isn't difficult enough to recreate. Making it all move in one motion is just really impressive. Now, the second feature of this model is the opening cockpit. We have these two half dome pieces that can be opened, and inside we have a seat with two blue energy controls for the pilot's hands on each side, which is a nice detail. Of course, we can fit a pilot inside and the cockpit closes up with no problems, despite it looking really flimsy, mostly due to its weird shape. This model is actually quite easy to handle and even swooshable. The middle section is a perfect handle for this thing, so you can just grab it from the back like you would intuitively anyways and fly off with it. I was trying to handle it a little more rough here, so you can see that was no problem for the model. I haven't had any major breaks. However, there are some sections that can pop off, but they're really easy to pop back on too, so no big deal. This is obviously a display piece, but that's not to say that it can't be played with. That's totally possible, but make sure to grab it from the back or underneath, because obviously the wing sections can't hold the whole weight of the model. But like I said, it's really intuitive to grab the model, especially if you've experienced the building process yourself. So, that's the Umbaran Starfighter for you. A really nice looking display piece for all of my Clone Wars fans out there, and even a bit of playability is present here. But check that out for yourself if you like, over on BrickVault.toys or via the first link in the video description. Make sure to like and subscribe for more custom LEGO builds. There are incredibly exciting builds in the works currently that you definitely don't want to miss out on. But anyways, thanks for watching everyone, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.